right, man. Got the Temu shades on. It's pretty dope, dog. I think they came in like a pack of 3 or 4 of them. Still on pack on shade one. But let's talk about I heard an interesting podcast. I was listening to the lady speak. I don't know what it was called, but I heard an interesting podcast with some women speaking on no, it basically was asking the women, I think Dash Shack 2 times he covered it. It was asking the women, you know, basically, if your husband ain't getting enough sex, he wanted sex 6 times a week. You only want to do it twice. What should he do? Should he step out? Should y'all get another wife? Should he divorce you? Whatever like that, right? I'm really not gonna dig deep into that conversation. But my thing is this, right? Like, what productive man, right? I'm gonna talk about 2 things here. First thing is this: what productive man is trying to have sex 6-7 times a week? Who got the energy when you young? Yeah, you know, sex is especially when you're young, it's top of people's priority list, especially people who are sexually driven. That's their top thing. You know, dudes go to the club for that. You know what I'm saying? You know, dudes, you know, go to the gym for that. But when you productive and you even if you a man that run your own business, like, dog, you really don't have the energy, you know, or you don't even have a clear enough path in your brain to think about sex 6-7 times a week. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, you know, if you're doing your own thing, right, or even if you at the job, or you just got everyday issues or everyday, you know, things going on. A lot of times you sitting at the crib, you might be eating, you might, you know, put your feet up, watch the game for a second. You're really trying to go through your head how you solving your issues. And while you sitting there in the shower, you thinking about, okay, when I go to work tomorrow, I'll do this, or, you know, the kids need this, or, you know, your mind is constantly trying to process, you know, the things that's ahead. Okay, man, I got this coming up. I got to budget this for that. I want to take a vacation here. That's what you're thinking about, right? If a man got enough time to have sex 6-7 times a week or every day of the week or something like that, like, bro, in my opinion, he's not productive. He's not productive. Now, you got some people who got a sex addiction, I get it, but more than likely that man is not productive. Like, when you out here being productive, running your shit, or you got a job, you doing this, that, and the third, dog, you really ain't. A lot of niggas be happy to see they bed. Some of y'all might drink, y'all might have a smoke, you know, especially if you a whole, you know, you at the job doing your thing, you work out before work, after work, you might, you know, have some things that you got to attend to. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, we don't have a lot of, like, productive dudes, don't have a lot of free time. And actually, I like it like that. A lot of times when you get guys that got too much time on their hand, or people that got, let's just keep it the men, or guys who got too much free time on their hand, what you end up figuring out is this. What you end up figuring out is that's when you start to make the bad decisions. When you bored, that's when you start to get in trouble. Going, you know, you start to cheat, or you start to spend money that you didn't plan on spending, or you start buying shit off Amazon that you ain't want to buy, or you want to go to the bar, have a good time, and that lead to an arrest, or that leads to additional problems, or you overspend, while going out. That's when that happens, when you bored. So most men, you know, bam, 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 they get a small window of relaxation on a day-to-day basis on the weekend. You know, especially if you're a family man, you cutting the grass, you doing housework. Then you get some free time. You might watch the game. You might want to go golf. You might want to go shooting. You know what I'm saying? You might do something with the homies, or a lot of times you just want to kick your feet up and relax. So we having these actually in-depth conversations about sex. You know, we having these conversations about sex and how much sex dude, this kind of tell me how women think. Women really think guys have this high ass sex drive, when the numbers tell you that most guys ain't clapping cheeks. When the numbers tell you that most guys testosterone low. When tell you that most guys are dealing with erectile dysfunction or some type of sexual dysfunction. Then you throw in the guys that's productive and that's grinding and trying to build something and stack something and trying to be productive citizens of this society. it's just to the point where it's with a point like, bro, like, do I have my times when I get off work and I want some? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's sometimes, a lot of the times I get off work and shit, I just want to go to sleep. Or I just want to chill. Even if it's just chilling with your girl, you just want to chill. You just want that feminine touch or that soft body. You know what I'm saying? Or you just want her to rub on you, or you just want to just sit there, y'all just, chill and watch a movie and drink, or whatever y'all do, or eat something. Y'all, you just want to be with a woman. That's cool without sex. And a lot of these dudes that kind of talk about wanting sex this many times, I could look at them and tell them, nah. Or I'm clapping cheeks, for an hour straight, and I'm looking like, nah, homie. If you taking a perk or whatever like that, but let's keep it real. Without all that enhancement, you ain't doing that. You ain't going rounds. You ain't even in that type of shape. You know what I'm saying? So I like this thing where when you start talking about the upper echelon or the blue collar and the upper echelon guy, like, come on. And for a lot of people women who don't know, a lot of guys' testosterone is higher in the morning. Obviously through the rigors of everyday thing, but when I be hearing, oh, guys want to have sex 6, 7, like, bruh, niggas want to have peace and quiet 6, 7 times a week. But I'm just keeping it real. Now, if you dealing with a pookie or a bum ass nigga who ain't got no motion, and that's why women tend to cheat with those low hanging fruit type of dudes, because they got time. If I'm at the crib chilling all day playing 2K, I'm not exerting no energy at all. I'm not exerting no energy. But if I'm out here every day, grinding, hustling, stacking bread, working and grinding, like, dog. A lot of times on the average day, that's the last thing from a nigga in a nigga mind is pussy. On the weekend, yeah, when you chilling, when you off on the weekend, or you got a light workload, and then you have your days through the week. You do. You need that stress relief sex, like shit. And when you do get it, sometimes it be, you do get it out. When you do get that stress relief sex, it's like you feel better. And it's sometimes where a lot of dudes would be so caught up. They'll be so caught up and working and grinding in life that they'll forget the fuck. Excuse my language. They'll forget the clap cheeks. They just so busy and just trying to grind. And the old girl got to be like, I want, you had something that's the best thing. That's like some of the best sex. Everybody talk about breakup sex or toxic sex. One of the best sex is when you just been grinding, or and you just been busy. And, she be like, hey, come on, you bullshit. Let's do. You do it like, damn, this is what I've been missing. Yeah. But if you just sitting there all day and you bull jiving around, you ain't really got no occupation. You still trying to figure, of course you got time. Of course you got time. But when you growing into being a man, and you got responsibilities to take care of, man, that's a lot of times that's last on your list on a day-to-day basis. Now, a weekend gear, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah. Or during the week, a couple times through the week. But yeah, but just, drilling 6 times, I'm like, nah, come on, man. Like when you young, yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. But if you that's what you want, if you got a sex addiction problem, or 2, you just don't got nothing going on, bro. At the end of the day, do you feel accomplished? Just being honest. At the end of the day, do you feel accomplished? What you accomplish? What did you learn? What did you gain? That's what you gotta ask yourself. So of course I got energy if I've been sitting at the crib all day. I got a bunch of fucking energy. But if you out here grinding and you grinding like that, come on. And truth be told, a lot of times most women's sex drives is higher than dudes. That's what we don't talk. Women, you heard about women. I slept with 100 guys in a day. Like, Most women they built to get drilled or to get drilled multiple times a day. The average guy, they pop once and it's a wrap. The refragment period, maybe when he wake up or 24 hours, whatever. Like, especially with the low testosterone dude in the American food, what it's doing to the human body. Most niggas' heart health or blood flow ain't good enough for that. I remember I was talking to this chick. She was like, yeah, I'll just be happy for a guy to have sex with me 2 times a night. That's all I want. It's always one. It's always one, It's always one. That's why I say I preach to dudes like, because you're not getting your nutrition through the food. Like, you got to learn to pivot to the supplement game. And also, before you even take a Viagra, I ain't talking about that, but before you take Viagra and all that other stuff, to keep it funky with you, because this motherfucker ain't in this right lane. I bet it's a woman, but I tell you, on the phone, not paying no attention. But before you even take any of the natural supplements, and then you want to get behind me, like, come on, you looking at your phone now, you want to speak, get out of here. Before you take any supplement, I'll tell somebody this. You got to make sure your cardio is there, because your cardio is there. So it's the strongest, one of the strongest, the most important muscle in your body. Your heart pumps the blood through, it pumps the blood. So that blood flow is very important. That's why I always preach to guys to do cardio, and a lot of people they tend to do the slow cardio where it don't challenge you with intensity, but steady, and it burn more calories and all that type of shit. You need intensity in your cardio. At some point, there has to be some level of intensity. Especially if you're talking about sexual health, there has to be a certain level of intensity in the cardio where you're doing some high interval something. Don't have to be a sustained high interval, but where that heart rate is getting up there for a certain period of time. Yeah, you ever been in that type of where you just do steady cardio and you lose weight, but you don't have no conditioning? You need to have conditioning when you're having sex. You gotta have conditioning. That's how you shorten the refragment. One of the ways you shorten that refragment period for men. That's how you do it. You get your cardio up. That blood flow start pumping through the body. Strength training don't hurt. Don't. I wish this Becky get from away from me driving like that, bro. Like, I just want this Becky to get away from me, bro, because she looking at her phone. She driving dumb. I just get irritated by women that drive sometimes, dog. Just go ahead and get from. I'm gonna just slow down. Just get from away from me, bro. Please. Thank you. Like, go on way up there, bro. You looking at your phone. You drinking a drink. You trying to speed. Like, bro. And looking at her phone again. That's just gets on. But nonetheless, back to the point. In strength training, also, like, it raises your testosterone too. Now, I will give you this before I get out of here for the fellas. Overdoing cardio or over-extensive workouts, that kills your testosterone. That'll kill your libido, your testosterone. So if you overdo it, every now and again it's good to do something. I know a guy, he run on the treadmill for an hour straight once a week. That's cool. But if you're doing something that extensive this for the women too, you're doing something that extensive 4, 5, 6 times a week, you're gonna kill your testosterone, you're gonna kill your libido, and also you're gonna kill your gains. It ain't gonna do nothing, but your muscles not gonna grow, and it also increases your chances highly of getting injured. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with strength training. Find what you do. My rule of thumb is this: as far as cardio, in a regular fact, 20 minutes. Sometimes, when I kind of feel like I'm kind of slipping, I do 30 minutes. But and then I go through phases. Like, once a week, I do an hour in the car. I'll do the hour cardio. I jog or run the first 30 minutes, intervals. I probably, sometimes run the first mile. The next mile, it'll be ups and downs. On the flat, I run, and when I go up, I walk it. And then the last 30 minutes, I just do a nice walk, straight walk. So I get around 5.5 miles, depends. Somewhere around there, 5.4, usually 5 and 5.5. But it's good. It's solid. You know, you're gonna feel a little drain. You know, once you build up to it, you feel a little, but man, you're gonna breathe better, and then kind of about 24 hours, you'll bounce back. But yeah, you know, just find you something that work for you. But that's it. It all ties into overall health. You know, but heart health is very important in general. So appreciate y'all. Hit the link in the description. You can follow me everywhere. But no, just follow me on Patreon. That's all I got over here. Join the Patreon with the real channel at. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.